CRO has been listed on Coinbase. We have some news regarding the CRO ETF, and finally, we might be witnessing the biggest crash in the history of CRO. A lot to unpack here, ladies and gentlemen, so don't forget to strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by Obsidian Swap, your place to make trades directly on the Cronos chain, but also start earning. Let's start with that biggest crash in CRO history, because honestly, you are not ready for what's about to come. You can clearly see in the picture that we basically completed a bit of a wave here. Two big waves and then a move to the downside. That was 2021. And so far in 2025, we have completed a very similar setup. So the most logical outcome would again be a move to the downside here. And I got so many scare reactions really on X, because this, guys, it seems very logical, right? But what if I told you? You got debated here, guys. This is a reverse chart. This, of course, is the rainbow chart, and the green zone is the buy zone. So the lower we go, the better it is for CRO. And I think sometimes good to, get some different perspective as well. The chart setup in the longer term is fundamentally very bullish. So I think an all-time high is very likely. Anyways, guys, do follow me at the Coin Baron for more jokes like this. But honestly, got so many views and people got so scared for this. But guys, again, it's a good sign here, what we're about to witness, at least in my opinion. But we do have also some actual good news, some fundamentally good news. So let's talk a bit more about quickly the Fed as well. If you've seen the live stream, you know that we've had a 25 basis point cut. So overall, ladies and gentlemen, it does seem like altcoins will be witnessing a more favorable environment now. A good example of that is the chart here of the total free. So the total market cap of all altcoins except for Ethereum, because recently this chart set a new all-time high at about 1.16 trillion US dollars. Very bullish, especially if you take a look at the technical setup here. You can draw a bit of a cup, but also here the handle. So you can see one attempt, a second attempt, and now also the third attempt of breaking this resistance line here. And typically the third attempt, that is all actual breakout. And based on this setup, we can also determine an actual target. So we have to take a look at the difference between the neckline here and also the bottom of the cup. So I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, soon, in a very short amount of time, the total crypto market cap can easily grow to about $2 trillion, almost doubling the total market cap. So very bullish environment for altcoins. Especially for CRO, it's looking very good at this specific time, because we also got some more news regarding the CRO ETF. We've got this article here by Albert, and follow him on X. But some breaking news, the CRO ETF will be approved. And why is that? Well, first and foremost, it also got confirmed basically here by Chris Marszalek, the CEO. But also, if you take a look really at the article, it's a very lengthy one, so I will put a link in the description down below. What it's all about is that now there is a generic standard for listing crypto ETFs. And in that listing procedure, they do also mention that if you are already trading in a covered market, you can get the standard listing approval. And luckily, guys, we already have here the Cronos ETF for Cronos. You can already trade Cronos on the Amsterdam exchange or on the Paris exchange. And therefore, according to the listing standards, if you take a look according to the new rules, we should be approved for a new ETF very soon. So I think, guys, in a matter of weeks, we might even start trading already with the actual CRO ETF. So this might be a very bullish catalyst for additional demand also from the institutional side. Moreover, on Coinbase, we're seeing some additional CRO trading activity, and the charts are looking quite promising. But more about that after the quick word of today's sponsor. You might have heard about Obsidian Swap for that trading platform. For example, you can trade easily CRO to Robin all directly on the Cronos chain. However, you can do so many more things. For example, you can go to their own platform to check out the farms. For example, CRO Robin. But there are also many community farms available. Here we have the token pool for diamond hands. And in that token pool, you can go to that platform. You can see you can earn up to 118% APR. Guys, it's very risky, but worth checking it out. Check it out in the link in the description down below. Anyways, let's talk some more about the Coinbase news regarding CRO. Because as you can see here in this tweet, you can see that the CRO perpetual markets are now in full trading mode. So perpetuals are basically futures trading, so you can now play with leverage on Coinbase with the CRO token. And I did some digging on the Coinbase Advanced website, and there you can find already that CRO is trading. If you look for CRO also in that database, you can see, hey, new, the CRO perpetual futures account. And overall, I would say, for example, the financing, it's not that expensive. Personally, I do still prefer crypto.com, the crypto.com exchange. And if you also want to trade there, link is in the description down below. But any additional platform where you can trade CRO is never bad. So this, guys, is again another bullish catalyst for CRO, even though this is already a somewhat smaller catalyst because spot demand, that is really important for potential price appreciations. Futures are not that important. Having said that, it's time to take a look on the charts really to see if you should go long or short on Coinbase. Because the CRO token has been trading mainly down. You can see lower high, lower high, lower high. We're also now trading in this wedge formation, and typically we do see a bullish breakout to the upside in such a trading formation. Yesterday we got very close here. You can see we almost broke out at this level here, but unfortunately they get a rejection there. So we can potentially, guys, trade even lower, or low here of this target line would be about 22 cents. So I wouldn't be surprised if we trade all the way down to 22 cents. However, there is one lagging indicator that is pointing towards some reversal incoming. You can see here, this is the MACD for CRO. And typically, once you see the light red, and when it continues to go into the light red, once again, we might be going into the green very soon. So of course, that's the question, guys. Will this continue? I think it will. I do believe soon we might see some additional strength for the CRO token. And also quite interesting, if you take a look at this chart here, we've been talking about this fractal. So here you can see the fractal of 2021. And the fractal, we were really in sync for a long time, but then we had the news regarding the Trump treasury. But now we're back on track again. We're back on track again with this fractal here. And there's one scary thing about this fractal, and that is the potential dump here. A potential dump of CRO and maybe also of Bitcoin. That could be another scare really of about minus 30%. So maybe we're going to see a similar drop to all the way down to about 17 cents. That will be, I think, the worst case scenario. Then we are basically back to where we started the pump at about over here 17 cents. So I would say from a technical point of view, a dump like this could be very healthy for CRO. But I think it would scare a lot of people. And I think at this time in the market, I don't want to see such a scare. On the charts, we have been seeing some mixed signals. Maybe a short-term pump, but also a medium-term dump. But still, guys, I'm mainly bullish for the longer term. If you can take a look at, for example, that upcoming ETF launch and also the listing on Coinbase. So, guys, make sure you're strapped in. You also hit the like button. Of course, you come back for more CRO content. Like, for example, this exit strategy for CRO. Check it out if you haven't thought about this yet.